What up, is Marcus with Dynasty Football Dads, and I have a quick ask for you. It is, please let me know what questions, what content that you want me to provide over the next 1 to 2 weeks here. I have a lot of big open space here of what content do you want answers to? What questions are you having? What things are you guys trying to figure out in Dynasty that I can help with? And that's what I want to do, is I want to serve the community here. And so please let me know in the comment box what you want me to start doing some videos on, and I can get that ready and prepared for you guys through the weekend here for next week or the following week. This video is all about the off season into the preseason. What I call them is fluff pieces. I feel like I get emails every single day about something else, which is Dalvin Cook is getting wide receiver reps, or this player B is looking amazing at camp, and this player is looking, he's beating every single defender that he has, or Christian Watson can't catch a ball, or whatever it might be. There is so many off-season and fluff season pieces that what we have to do is we have to figure out, are they true or are they false? And what I'm going to basically say is, innocent until proven guilty. I'm going to say basically that these articles are guilty until proven innocent. Or guilty, yeah, does that make sense? They're basically wrong until proven right. The only things there's two things that I care about when it comes to the offseason and preseason. My rankings are pretty strong. One is injuries. Are injuries happening? And how are people recovering from injuries? Are they going to miss training camp? Are they going to miss the preseason? Are they going to miss potentially part of the regular season? We've had some of these injuries later in the year, like Jameson Williams and stuff, that are later in the year. How much of the season are they going to miss? And you have to kind of even read through the tea leaves. They're not going to give you a ton of information because they don't want to let you know, hey, Jameson Williams is going to be back by week 6 or week 2. And always know that the line of recovery, all of a sudden they can be like, yep, he's going to be ready by regular season. All of a sudden, regular season happens, and he misses 2 games, 3 games, 4 games, or has a setback. These setbacks happen all the time when it comes to injury recovery. I did 8 years of schooling, and a lot of that schooling, part of that was with sports injuries and sports recovery and everything, so I understand a lot of that sphere on how injuries can be so complicated, even that meets the eye, because you have to, a lot of times, let's say an ACL injury, you're working on other muscles to try to help make sure that this injury heals correctly and doesn't reoccur. So long story short, basically, I am looking, and then injuries like Rashad Penny, or injuries like these little nicked up injuries, hamstring injuries, soft tissue injuries. These things are big red flags going into the 2022 season that I absolutely hate. For redraft, if somebody's injured, especially going into that season, right into around the preseason time, I am making them have a huge red little check mark on them, and they are probably decreasing in my rankings, honestly. We had this with Michael Thomas. We've had this with Allen Robinson before. We've had this with plenty of it seems like a million other players that have had soft tissue injuries that have lingered into the season and caused a poor fantasy season. Now, this is Dynasty Fantasy Football, so you have multiple years, but just understand that you might not be getting the production that you wanted to from that player, and you have to start making a plan B, plan C type option if you're able to with your roster construction. So that is number one. Where are injuries? Are injuries happening? What injuries are happening? How severe are those injuries? And then even Travis Etienne, who's recovering from a foot injury last year, where's his progress and how well is he doing? And so I'm looking at injuries, what's happening, what's recovering, timelines of these. These are very, very important when it comes to fantasy football, Dynasty Fantasy Football, and even short-term success. Of course, that's going to be the one thing that I'm going to be listening on. Number 2 is going to be just watching the preseason individual battles and seeing if they're winning these individual matchups, especially at the wide receiver position. Running back position is a little bit harder. It's Javonte, you can see that Javonte was doing really well. Najee had a little bit of success in preseason, but not much. Jamar Chase was absolutely horrible, but you could see that he was getting open. He was just having issues with dropping the ball, and then all of a sudden that changed when the regular season happened and hit. And so I'm just looking at, can they individually win a matchup? Are the route runners, are they getting separation? Are they being targeted in their offense? What's happening? There's a little bit of stuff, not anything crazy. It's not going to make Drake London go from 5 to 7 or anything like that. It's just going to be okay, is that a player that I want to draft at 5 or 6 maybe. That might be a slight, and most people have already had the rookie draft, so it doesn't really matter. The rookies are there. You're not going to be trading your rookies away. Hopefully you're not going to be trading your rookies away already. Like, that would be pretty crazy. The rest of it is called what we call fluff pieces. I'm going to hear things all the time. This player is a monster at camp. This player is monster preseason. Wide receiver can't be stopped. Running back breaking all the tackles. The arm is unbelievable. You're probably going to hear a bunch of stuff about Malik Willis because his attributes are amazing, especially when you're in shorts and t-shirt. Like, the guy has an incredible arm and everything like that. But what happens when they go into game mode? It's completely different. So if you can sell when somebody, let's say 2 months from now, Gabriel Davis, they say, oh my goodness, unstoppable at Buffalo Bills camp. It might be a point where you're like, okay, I can actually sell. Or Bryan Edwards, the classic. Bryan Edwards can't be stopped every single year, but is always stopped when the NFL season comes along. These are players that get hyped, that even if you can hold on to their value until they get hyped, like some of these players, I'm just kind of like, okay, these are normal, like the big, athletic, fast type of players. These are some players that I think are going to always end up showing out a little bit at camp. Bryan Edwards is one of them. I mean, I'm trying to think who else would be. I mean, Christian Watson, but he's been dropping balls. So if he wasn't dropping balls, then that would be Sammy Watkins. You might see Sammy Watkins, Green Bay. Oh my goodness, he's looks like the old wide receiver one. You might see something like that. Like some of these players, you're gonna see Mecole Hardman. Maybe you'll see him. Oh my goodness, he's the new favorite wide receiver one. Or, like, these are players that you can just dump and trade and get more value. Don't believe the fluff pieces. Just don't believe it. It's so. I don't know. So many people. I get some people actually will send me articles in a trade. They will actually send me the article and say, "Hey, look at this article by so and so says that this wide receiver is going to be dominating." I'm asking for an early second. I'm like, he's not worth an early second. He was worth a late second 2 days ago, and he was always worth it. Well, but look at the article. The article says that he's going to be an implemented person of the offense, and he can't be stopped. Maybe he's actually even worth a late first. And I'm like, well, no. People actually send me articles. I don't know if anybody else does this to you. They'll actually send me articles or link to the article saying, hey, look at this, and then I want to trade him. It's like, but so he's doing great, but you want to trade him? That makes almost no sense. It means you are trying to do what I'm doing. You are seeing the false hype, and you're trying to trade that away. So, again, this is Marcus Dynasty with Dads. Hope you enjoyed our rant here. Peace out. Take care, and we'll see you again soon.